Uh-oh, did I just there
Did you find the quote?
I found the quote. I did find the quote. I
Oh,
was trying to
yes.
correct. I'm getting notices saying that our title is wrong. So I'm trying to fix it for
Yes.
us.
Okay.
My phone was
Yeah, we do. We knew the title was wrong. We kind of saw it as we started.
mhm.
But thank you guys for letting us
Yes.
know
Thank
that
you.
the title was wrong.
My phone was
Yeah, we do. We knew the title was wrong. We kind of saw it as we
I can hear
started.
that, Marquita.
Thank you.
all right. It's fixed now on YouTube.
Okay, great. So if
Hmm.
you're still seeing the wrong title, go ahead and refresh your screen.
Yes, I think I might have kicked everyone, but they're coming back. We're gonna give them a second to get back in the room. It looks like it relaunched our live.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
They started back from the beginning.
Yeah, it relaunched. We're still live right now though, so they're coming on in.
Okay.
I'm so sorry about that. For those viewing us on YouTube, we got our title updated for you. Thank you so much for coming back in with us. But yeah, regarding that situation, like you shared there, regarding that particular situation, perfect. Thank you for letting us know out there.
Okay.
Regarding that situation with you saying that with the family.
Yeah. With the family, because like you said, like it's you can forgive, but anytime that something comes up that looks remotely like that offense, you get on the defense again. So if those things trigger, did you truly forgive, or is this something you still processing?
Yeah, that ties back to being able to be around a person who you feel like you forgave. If you forgive them for their offense, can you be around them? When it's family, it circles back to that thing with the okay, you're my brother, so you can do what whatever you were gonna do, and I'm just gonna automatically be okay with it.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with family, it gets a little touchy for most people. I think I've reached the phase in my life where it doesn't get as touchy as it used to.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna say it, it's gonna be said, or if I don't say anything, you're going to hope I said it. So
Good. Okay.
it's gotten like that, but that took a long time. So for anyone who's in that particular space or phase, it's hard. It's definitely hard when it comes down to family and forgiveness because you hold them to a whole other standard by comparison to like your coworker or your supervisor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're on a different level. Like you,
And I also think too, like that whole where we say forgive and forget, like your forgiveness, like I just said, you can't, like I said previously, you can't forget, because when you forget, you end up putting yourself back in the same situation.
hmm
I'm getting messages saying it kicked them off. I wonder if they know that it should be back up.
yeah.
Putting yourself back in the same situation.
Oh yeah, we're still
I'm
live
getting
in
messages
Facebook.
saying we're okay. All right, guys. So we're gonna say again, we did have a little disruption. So if hopefully you get back in, and we should be back in and be back rolling.
Thanks for hanging with us.
But
I'm
also too, we're always back available for playback. So thanks for bearing with us as we work out kinks and things like that. We're on episode 2, and so we ran into a couple kinks. So forgive us. Please forgive us and come back while we're on this topic of forgiveness.
yes.
So yeah, okay. So on that note, what we were kind of tuning into was talking about how it's harder sometimes when it's family, and you got to look at this person's face every day. But so like, if let's say your brother did something to you, and your coworker did the same thing, is it easier? Do you feel like you're gonna more quickly forgive your brother or the coworker?
I feel like your coworker is probably gonna get the pass, but then your coworker might get the dirty end. I'm gonna say it that way, the dirtier
Mm,
end of the stick. And
yeah,
the reason being is because you'll find yourself being more accommodating to your brother who disrespected you outright, but then you'll find yourself being snarky and nasty to that coworker. I forgave you for that, but I didn't forget. You know what I'm saying?
exactly,
Um,
exactly.
but you are quicker to grant that pass. Your standards are just so different when it comes to family. Like
That's
that
a good way to put it.
yeah, that dynamic as a whole is so different when you're dealing with family versus friendship. And not friend oh, let me not say friendship.
Don't say friendship. This is say associates and
Yeah, the other
like
people.
the
Okay?
other people.
Family and then the other people. Okay? So if
Okay.
you look at them and you separate them like that, like my coworker is not nearly as close to me unless of course they grow on me.
Mm-hmm.
They're not nearly as close to me as that family member. Your expectations for your family because they know the things that hurt you. A lot of times,
Yeah.
family members know those things that hurt you. They know
That's the thing. Like I feel like my family would know my triggers. My
right,
family, you should know that this is gonna hurt me, or this is gonna take me over the edge, or the
right,
potential for you to get slapped for doing X, Y, Z is very high. Whereas sometimes if it's a coworker or an associate or a classmate, they don't know you. You
mm,
know, a lot of times you gotta tell people, tread lightly. You don't know me like
right.
that.
Like a family member would know your insecurity. Like we talked
Yeah.
about being fat in the friend zone last week. That was a good we
Mm-hmm.
talked about that last week. But a family member would know if weight was a concern of yours. But just
Yes.
likewise, a family member may also know how to
Yes.
touch you around your insecurity. So it's like when you're dealing with family members and they do, granted, yes, um, they're allowed to, yeah, good one, thank you. They're allowed to push your buttons. They're allowed, they believe that they have that leeway because they know you. But the truth
Mhm.
is, they're not considering your feelings when they take that jab at you. And
Mhm.
you as that other, receiving person, you are looking at it like you should know my feelings. That's why you said
Yes.
doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they
So
say, you know what? As my family, or even as my best friend, my closest friends, you know what buttons to push, and
right,
when you do it, you know exactly what you were doing when you did it.
right, because in general interactions, it's always about making sure not that she feels comfortable. Let me talk about Kia for just a second. My engagement with her is not about whether or not she's comfortable with what I had to say. That's not what we're
Mm-mm.
saying.
Not at all.
I'm saying is that as my friend, literally the best friend I have, she
Yes.
knows those things that could set me off. So
Yes.
it's not about her saying something to set me off per se. It's me knowing she is the one who has that close access to me to cause that reaction or
That
cause
kind of just that just kind of made me think of something else. Like
Mhm.
now, as you, as the person who has been offended, hmm, like you just said, like how close we are, I know your triggers, right?
Mhm.
Are you more likely to become less offended because you know if I'm coming at you that way, I'm doing it for a reason?
Mm.
Or it's because I'm trying to jolt you into realizing, I'm more so speaking on words, saying something that might be offensive
Yeah,
more
that's
so
it.
than
It's not
doing.
regulations. Yeah.
Yeah, like if I say something to you that's offensive,
Mhm.
um, because because I know what you're going through or your triggers, are you more likely to be like, she just said that, because sometimes somebody else, like say somebody else was there that doesn't know our relationship, and I say something, they'll be like, girl, she hadn't said that to me. But then I'm that. It was a T-shirt. I'm that friend that you gotta explain to people before you meet them. So
Yeah.
like, does that make the offense less offensive, or just you more understanding?
It makes it so where, well, for me, y'all know we can only speak from our own thoughts and our own
Yeah.
experiences. Not necessarily constructive criticism, Stan, not necessarily like just something offensive off the cuff, period. With you being my best friend, you can say something. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And I won't take it because I won't take it in a negative sense because I don't assume um what is the word? I don't assume ill intent.
Yes.
When Kia
Yes.
speaks to me,
But
I
when it's a stranger and somebody pop off and say
right.
something
You're like, you don't
out
know
the
me, man.
line, you don't know their intentions.
Right. It's like you don't know me. How do you know that that would be acceptable? Oh, girl, why did that just come together in my brain like that? Hold on. Let me explain what just took place. Um, it's you have to think about it. When you tell somebody you don't know me, it's like no, it just had a whole new meaning to me. You don't know me. You don't. Like, this is the first time we've
Yes.
come into contact. How do you know what you said won't hurt my feelings? How do you know what you just did won't harm me or cause me to jump off the deep end? That could have been the straw that broke my back. Okay?
Mhm.
You don't know me. So since you don't know me, how are you so comfortable making such a risky comment? Because
Mhm.
with us having that relationship that I was talking about, we have that relationship. So
Yes.
I know you well enough to understand that this is going to take a jab at her, but she's going to laugh it off. Or
Yeah.
this
Or
is
she's gonna process it the way I need her to process it to move
right,
forward. Because also, as close friends and hopefully as family members, I do want what's best for you.
right,
So if I said something that might be offensive, maybe my delivery was off, but hopefully you, as somebody I love you, you know that I'm frustrated with you for not seeing how great you could be, or I'm frustrated with you in that certain area where that comment might have came from.
right. But see, also, as you being my friend, I'm going to come to you and discuss that thing with you. I am going
Yeah.
to
And
talk to
it'll turn more into a discussion more so than
you.
yeah. Yeah. I understand what Stan's saying too. People can't handle that and take offense though, but it depends on who it is. And I think that's something too. Like I know us, we're people who are very vocal. I'm gonna speak my mind. I am very careful though in how and when, and I read rooms and all that type of stuff. I have a very discerning spirit. So sometimes if I do pop off, you best know it was intentional. But at the same time, if these are people that are close to you and love you and you call yourself friends and you call yourselves in a relationship, you should be able to speak in a manner to where the offense, would you say when people can't handle that and they take offense, if they might be offended temporarily, but it should be something that we could work through. If not right then and there in a very short period of time.
So we were going back and forth about family versus friendship or coworkers or the next person, right? And
Yeah.
how Stan did say, people can't handle it and take it off offense. What I want to know is, do you feel as though our friendship has guarded us as far as the ability to be offended by the things we say to each other? Do you think our friendship safeguards us from the need to constantly forgive each other?
Yes, I do.
You do?
I do because I don't.
Talking about this, and I'm like,
I don't know. I think if I really sat back and thought about some things we might have said to each other, if it wasn't you, it would have made me feel some type of way.
hmm. We're supposed to challenge the viewers, not ourselves. We
Yeah,
challenge
right. I'm
the viewers.
sitting here like, wow, like
I'm thinking about it. I'm like, for real. Um, I am not extremely self-conscious about my weight like that
uh-huh.
anymore. I'm aware, I'm
Yes,
conscious, but I'm not self-conscious about my weight
yeah,
anymore. But when it comes down to certain things, and then also, oh man, we're talking about feelings and everything, man. It's like really looking at our friendship. I can put on something and you can be like, girl, you look stupid. Go take it off. And
and okay, yes, that's a good example
I'll
because
go take it
now
off and not ask
depending
no
on
questions.
depending on who the friend is or who the person is
Mhm.
that said it, I might be like, this heifer just hating. Whereas I feel like with us, if I said it to you, you know that I'm really just saying, baby, you look foolish. But if somebody else might have said it, I'd be like, she hating. You know?
Listen, girl, that is so true. And I'm up here like, really, this is reeling in my brain. I'm not even. I tried to look down at my notes twice. I can't because I'm stuck now. Because it's true. It's
Yeah.
like our friendship really does safeguard us. And even still, when there's things that are said or done and it bothers me, I will come and talk to you about it. It will be no, I need to forgive you. It's gonna be a, what is your problem? What's going on? Kia, no, ma'am. No, not today. This is not what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be more
Yeah.
or less, I will. what somebody else would call me checking you is me letting you know, all right, friend, tread lightly, friend. You know what I mean? And
And I think that's
yes,
just because as friends, you
Arlen
end
is
up
so
with this
right.
level of communicate. Like we communicate a certain way,
Yeah,
and I think with friends, you're allowed to be honest. Like Darla was saying, you should be able to be honest with one another
absolutely.
and not have to worry about like I really want to tell her, but you know, I'm gonna spare her feelings. I should say
Mm,
that to me that's not to me that's not real friendship. Like if I gotta really pine over what I need to tell you, and try to edit it so that I'm not hurting your feelings, then we're not being honest. And then why would you get so offended from it that now it turns into this you're harboring it and I gotta learn to forgive.
right,
I gotta work on forgiving you because you offended me.
right. It's when you start getting into that, it's like, is it even your friend?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so
And
we mentioned before about friends and not friends but family, co-workers, people you know, people you're close, that space of that divide. And so with us talking about space and divide, we might as well go on and check and see where people viewing from. So y'all, where are you watching us from today? Please go ahead and drop in the chat. Where are you viewing the Melanin Mindset from this evening? Are you
mhm.
viewing from Facebook or YouTube? Are you in Florida? Are you in California? Where are you watching us from today? All right. Let us know down in the chat where you're viewing us from. We do want to know what area we're reaching so that we can know the reach we have. Mm.
Yes, yes, yes,
And
yes.
while you're letting us know whereabouts you are located, please go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, continue the conversation with us this evening on our second episode of the Melanin Mindset, where we are but we're talking
Okay.
about forgiveness, y'all. We're talking about forgiveness. It's time to heal and release, fam. It really is time to heal and release. So where we left off at is we came to a realization that our friendship clearly is safeguarding us from some of the stressors that would typically come with being offended or even the necessity to forgive. But
Yes.
we do want to know, now that we're getting more people in the room, where where are your thoughts on that? If your coworker offends you or your sibling does the same thing, or think of somebody in your circle, they do the same thing. Are you more apt to forgive? Are you more apt
Mhm.
to forgive? We got viewing from Philly, Miami, Boynton, the living.
The living room.
Oh, another Philly. Thank you, Philly in the house, clearly.
Okay.
Yes, Philly is taking over. And also we talked about the degree of the offense. So Kia,
Let's talk about this degree of
hear
offense.
me out. Somebody slapped you or somebody slapped your kid. Where does
Okay.
your forgiveness spectrum run?
Okay. You slap me,
Mm-hmm.
you will get slapped back, and we can talk about it, and I can possibly get over it. You slap one of my kids, you no longer exist. now you're gonna have to forgive me. You slap one of my kids, you're gonna have to forgive me for what's about to come after. And anybody who knows me and the way I am about my kids, it is what it is. I like I said, I am very forgiving. And then not even just my kids. Like I feel like I'm very forgiving when the offense is against me, but now my kids are most of them are grown and they, they're on the older spectrum. But there is something about somebody who brings harm to small children that, oh my gosh,
It
rubs me the wrong way.
disgusts me. It is
Like
disgusting.
so bad. Like I want to tell a story, but I don't want to put the person's business out there. But let me just say, I have a person in my life, I'll say it like that, who basically kind of just threw their kid to the side. And then their kid just end up in a really, really bad situation where they were being abused, they weren't being taken care of. And the thing about it was, like, we didn't know that that was what was going on. And now for me to look that person in their face, I can't. It's so hard for me to deal with them because that's all I can think about. Like, now every conversation we have, I feel is fake because nobody wants to bring up the elephant in the room. And then like I kind of wonder to myself, like, do I forgive this person? Because it's like anywhere this person is, like, I don't want to be, because I'm not a fake person. I don't feel like being fake. And then if I bring it up, everybody's looking at me like I'm the asshole. So I just avoid this person as much as possible, because that was the way they hurt that child, and the way that child is now going to turn into an adult with so many issues and so much hurt, and it was something that could have been avoided. Like, I don't mess with kids. I just feel like kids are innocent. They at a certain age, they were brought here in a manner just to live, you're supposed to be protecting them and raising them and nurturing them, and for you to just, because of your selfishness, because of whatever you didn't feel like dealing with, or whatever the hell the case was, I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. It just rubs me the wrong way.
So, in all sincerity, though, with the principles of what we're discussing this evening, with healing and releasing those things, do you feel as though something needs to happen in order for you to grant that forgiveness, or do you feel like that forgiveness is not attainable for that individual?
I don't know. I honestly think, though, that if we at least talked about it could be something that I could process and make more sense of. Because it's always been just brushed off and not addressed. It makes me still harbor those ill feelings towards that person.
There's a quote by Hannah Aaron, and I could probably be saying that wrong. The quotes that'll be provided in this episode were all located on graciousquotes.com. So the quotes that are being shared here were all found on graciousquotes.com. So if you are looking for any forgiveness-based quotes or anything like that, please check out graciousquotes.com, because that's where I got all this stuff from. Okay. But there is a quote that says, by Hannah Art, that says, forgiveness is the key action and freedom. It's the key to action and freedom. So when you're looking at trying to have that growth or having that move forward or whatnot like that, there's a good question in the chat too. I'll finish this thought and we're going to address that question. But that ability to forgive or to step in that direction, you know what I'm saying, friend, is the key. That key to your freedom from that issue or isolated incident. Now, granted, it's a kid, and that is hard, when it comes to forgiveness, because they can't protect themselves. And children are sometimes far too forgiving, and they're willing to allow these things to perpetuate and carry on and keep going. But then you, as the adult looking in, I do understand where you're coming from.
But then it's not until the kid turns into an adolescent or an adult that they realize, and it makes them so hateful towards any and everything associated with that situation. Is there room for a conversation with the individual? Valerie, honestly, Valerie, we know each other. And I don't usually wait for anybody to give me room for anything. If I got something to say, I'm gonna get it off my chest. But with this individual, because of how we're connected, I think the conversation would not only cause a bigger rift between me and this person, but it would affect other people in my life, other family members, other friends. And I think I maybe shy away from it. Yes, that's enough. So I think I shy away from it to spare other people the trauma. But honestly, maybe I should talk to the other people, because maybe they feeling the same thing, and maybe we should all just sit down and talk.
Now, friend, there's one, and I'm going to actually load it so that everybody can see it, because I do not want to say it all the way out loud, but it's a quote, unknown. It says, forgiving you means...
Unknown be saying a lot of stuff.
Huh?
Unknown must be the people. Look, unknown must be the people. Well, the people say...
Listen, unknown has a ton of stuff to say, I tell you.
Look,
It
oh,
just
unknown is
basically says
they. Then you know what they say.
you can keep going, but I'm about to put this quote up on the screen though.
Yeah. So I do feel like that conversation probably does need to happen for healing to happen. And we'll see. I'll let y'all know if we, if it ever happens, I'll bring it up in an episode in a future episode.
Yes, please
But
do.
but now another thing we talk about, like the offense, the degree of the offense. Like, is it easier for me to forgive somebody who stole from me than somebody that say slept with my man? Or
Mm.
not even to go far as slept with my man. Let's just say inappropriately gestured towards my man.
Mm.
And
Girl,
well, your lips got real tight.
I can't.
What happened?
Mm. All right,
So
so you said if they did what or slept with my man?
let's say somebody stole money out your wallet
Mm.
versus you finding out that same person slept with your man.
Mm. I feel like we would be better off talking about our second bullet because at first when we discussed this, it didn't bother me. I didn't feel as though I felt like I could
Oh, when we put it down in the notes, you felt as though you was G enough to handle it, and then
yeah,
you
I thought that
kind
I
of
could
thinking about it a
handle it.
little more.
I thought I could be more direct. But no, listen, if you sleep with my man, I got bigger problems. It's not just
Yeah.
about
Because first of all, now we got a problem with you
all
got a
the
problem with your
ways.
man and the person who slept with him. We got problems with everybody now.
How about we say push up on my man? Because it's like, bruh, now we got bigger problems. But no, in all sincerity though, it like I said before, we do find ourselves categorizing offenses. But if someone, it would be more difficult because now I can't trust you. I've lost my love, and like you literally with your single act have taken away everything from me.
Yeah.
As far as my relationship is concerned. So
Yes.
that that is that is a little bit different, but it is easier to forgive somebody for taking money. Why? Because I'll probably be able to relate not necessarily to the act of them stealing the money, but to the act of them needing the money. The part that where they
Mhm.
needed the money, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
We've all been there where we didn't quite have the money we would have liked to have, and it would have been nice to have, this other item or this other amount of money or whatnot. And you thought to yourself a million different thoughts to obtain, that goal or whatnot. So yeah, it's easier to forgive someone who took your money, especially if with that person sharing the reason or rationale. Am I going to be able to trust you? That's another quote I saw. Forgiveness is not the hard part. Trusting you
Yeah. The
is.
trust that comes after the forgiveness
Yeah, I
is
share this.
is, is what's more hard. And that's kind of like what we were saying back earlier about you feeling like um you anytime anything looks remotely to that offense, you starting to feel like you need to be defensive about it. So that's where that trust comes in. I feel like trust takes a lot longer to get to than forgiveness.
Valerie said
Like,
on your man's end or both. Are you talking about when it comes down to forgiving, Valerie?
yeah,
Like,
she's talking about who you forgiving.
um,
Both. We talking about both.
yeah, we're talking about both. If it came down to me forgiving someone for sleeping with my dude, I think I would be more likely to forgive him depending on the level of connection I have with him. And I know this is probably about to bring the
Yeah, yeah,
trolls out, I'm sure. But I'm just saying with that, it depends. Is it my husband? Is it my boyfriend? Is it my homie
yeah.
lover friend? Are we
Hmm.
deep? Are we established? Have I made mistakes in the past?
Yeah.
It's a lot of factors that'll come
There's
in on
there's a lot of conditions that could
yeah.
change
Which is
how you're
why I
gonna
feel like I should clarify
handle that
'cause I don't
situation.
want
That's
no
why I think I kind of switched it up to like pushed
yeah.
up on, because the whole infidelity thing, that's a whole nother episode in itself. So that's why I kind of pushed it to like flirting or pushing up on.
Yeah.
So with that being said, and us saying how you were saying sometimes the offense can be relatable. So, sometimes in ourselves, we have these standards for like, I need some time to heal, or I got to process, or I need an apology, or I don't need an apology, vice versa. What about when you're the person who offended somebody else?
I think
Like, do you have that exact same standard that it takes you to forgive somebody? Do you feel like they should forgive you the same way you forgive others? And I'll answer for me, like I think I kind of answered it earlier when I said, I know me, I'm a forgiving person to a certain extent, unless my kids, or my man, or my mama, or my brother. But or my sister. But other than that, or my best friend. But I mean, so sometimes I know me, because of how I am, I'll get over stuff a lot quicker. Like, I don't expect other people to forgive as quickly as I might. Man, at that point, it's no need to apologize. Come down with you, period. After I fight you.
her man and her money, period. I had to share that comment. But yeah, no, when it comes down to that, as far as me expecting them to forgive me, I think because, and it ties to that relatable thing. I really think because I always know my own intention,
Yes.
that it's like you feel almost like you want to put yourself on the fast track to forgiveness. All right.
Aww.
Well, that's my brother. All right, but no, in all seriousness though, when it comes down to being able to forgive, it's like when it's me, I know I don't sincerely mean it. And if I do, I'm not looking for you to forgive me. You get what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
I only seek out forgiveness from someone when I sincerely have no clue why you're offended by me. You get
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I know my
Yeah.
mouth it can be reckless, but then at the same time, it's like, I did not mean what you got from what I said. Help
Yeah.
me fix it. And I'm more likely to, I'm an active get your forgivenesser, if that's a thing.
That
Like,
is not what I meant. I
yeah,
did
no,
not mean for you. Yeah.
I'm an active petitioner for forgiveness when I offend now. Now, when I was younger, that's another story. But my present adult Marquita is an
Mm-hmm.
active petitioner of forgiveness. No matter how outlandish you may feel as though what I said was, or even if you come to me with this outlandish thing that I offended you when I tripped over your toe, scuffed the tip of your shoe, and did not say sorry. You get what I'm saying? So with
Yes.
that
Yes.
situation, like before, I would be like, bro, bye. You know what I'm saying? But even now, if
Mhm.
somebody came and was like, Marquita, you scuffed my shoe. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. If I did something to offend you, I'm sorry. Now that's if I care. Because even,
Yeah.
thank you, Valerie, even with the growth of it all, there are some relationships that are just toxic and it's time to let it go. So if we're disagreeing or you're saying that I offended you, and I'm like, I find myself constantly having to apologize, constantly having to, meet that period,
Mhm.
then I find myself in a place where I could care less if you forgive me. But as far
Yeah.
as that process of forgiveness, I can't say that I expect them to expedite the processing of my claims paperwork
Mhm.
because I am the offender. Because if I
Yeah.
did offend someone, I'm
Do
at a different place.
do you feel like there's a point though where, like, because like you said, you're an active petitioner for forgiveness. Like, do you feel like there's a point where you could be too pushy?
Me?
And I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a story. So there was, let's just say, two friends, right? One friend betrayed the other
Oh, okay, that's not us.
in,
I thought you were
in
trying
a
to cover.
in a manner of infidelity and doing things behind said friend's back, that, whatever. It was bad. Let's just say it was bad. It was a bad situation. We're no longer friends, right? But we operate in the same circles. We are in I'm gonna make up something. Let's say we're in a motivational speaking community. So we might be at certain events at the same time, you know? And when it comes to doing things professionally, whether I like you or not, I have to remain professional. But do you feel as though that we have to hash this out and forgive each other in order for us to still operate in those professional circles?
I
And
don't
like,
think so. I think with genuine forgiveness, it's not gonna be a bearing on your professional environment. If
But
you
no, but listen, I'm still on this. Do you feel as though somebody has to forgive in the same capacity? So I'm still on the, because, like, let's say this friend, okay, here go one friend, here go the other friend. Let's say this friend thinks, well, because we always around each other and have events, we need to talk. We got to get this over so it's not, the tension is not there. But this friend is like, chick, I'm still pissed at you. Don't talk to me and we will be good. So what I'm saying is, like, this friend that's just keep like, come on, we need to talk, we need to talk, we need to talk. It seems like it's making it worse because the other friend is not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to have this conversation. I'm still pissed at you. It's still fresh. Leave me alone. Don't speak to me. But as far as us being in professional settings, I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to do what I have to do. You do what you have to do. And we leave and go our separate ways. And the reason I'm bringing it up because something did happen along those lines where it was brought up during the professional event. And it was like, that was not the time or place, first of all. And then why do you expect me to, what? We're not about to hash this out. I don't mess with you right now.
We got an answer here in the chat. It says, no, I work with people regularly who have offended me and may or may not know. I'm a professional, so we got to get this paper.
Yeah. Now now Alvin, you did say like you work with people regularly, but were the people you work with regularly that offended you close friends? See, I'm talking about this was a close friendship that ended bad, and now, but we still work together. Like you can't tell me when to forgive you when you were the offender.
So what you're saying is they're putting pressure to forgive.
Yeah, they're putting pressure. Like every time you see me at an event, because we're not friends no more and I don't mess with you, I'm not going to actively call you out. And if you call me, I'm not going to answer. So you keep taking the opportunity of our speaking engagement, because I use multiple big speak. You keep taking the opportunity of our engagement to try to bring it up. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. You were the offender.
So with that, you're talking about where the offender is like actively, like how I said, oh no, I'll petition for forgiveness if I sincerely care about the person. Like, but then to that goes with that. Like it depends on the level at which they are. Like you said to that other statement, like, were you all close friends? Well, listen, if we're close friends and I offended you and you tell me, I'm gonna petition for your forgiveness because it wasn't intentional. But then at the same time, if you are to say to me, no, I need space. Well, I'm gonna give you space, maybe 2 days, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna give you maybe 2 days, and I'm gonna come back. But it's you. Now, if it's somebody else, I am okay, but everyone's not okay with that. I feel like there are it's a post going around right now on social media where people are saying that people walking out of your life is not always a bad thing. Sometimes God is clearing a path.
Yes.
Right? So like sometimes God is clearing a path. I take that again, adult. Okay, adult me. me 5, let's give it even 5 years ago. Shoot, me 2 years ago. But I'm just saying adult me is at a place where I understand that I see these comments, girl. I'm about to get one. I understand that this may not be a forever and always thing for us. Now, not for us, but for them. All right. This may not be a forever and always thing. So with that, it's like you not forgiving me and you telling me no, then it really just depends on where these people fall. Remember, I was telling you the ranking system for forgiveness, it's actually rather intricate. I would really love to revisit forgiveness again.
And we definitely need to have a part 2 on this. And we do have there's going to be a subscription version of the Melanin Mindset. So maybe I'll give y'all the full tea on that story for our subscribers. So that'll be coming. But yeah, like, so I mean, how do we wrap this up, friend? Forgiveness, everybody has to process it in their own way, but forgiveness, why is forgiveness beneficial to you as an individual?
Like for me, forgiveness is beneficial as an individual because it helps me. like how we said in our title, it's time to heal and release, fam.
Yeah.
I'm not above therapy. Okay. I'm not
Yes.
above speaking to someone when you feel like everything is just overwhelming and you're trying to grow. So, in my journey for growth and in my journey for healing, forgiveness has really been a huge part of it. I think we were going to share a story with them, Kia, about an activity we had done. Kia and I are also working on,
Oh,
us
yes, yes.
too. And in the whole forgiveness thing, we were reading a book
Hmm.
and it told us about how we should write a direct letter. Here's the thing, and it encompasses everything that we've
Yeah.
discussed this evening, by the way. So when
Yeah.
it comes down to needing them to apologize to you, them maybe not even hearing you out, because you ever tried to express yourself to someone and they just weren't hearing you out,
Hmm.
dealing with the person who's not aware that you are
That
offended
that
by
they
them.
even offended you.
Right. Here's something you could do. You could try writing a letter. You want to write a letter and not just any letter. I mean, outline to the T the offenses. And this is, I would,
And how you felt about them.
right. I think it's more beneficial. I found it more beneficial because what we ended up doing was hashing up like old stuff. You brought up everything that ever hurt you, and we
And
put it
you
in a letter.
and a lot of times you're harboring feelings that are causing you, that are blocking you from relationships and blessings that could be coming your way because you're still harboring feelings from something or someone that you never forgave. So this letter allows you to write a letter to that person, outlining in detail everything that, why you're upset, how they offended you, the things that hurt you. Now, you're not going to give this person this letter. This is for you. This is for you to dump out all those feelings, for you to release everything. And that feeling of writing it down, when you write things, you hear it in your head, so it's like you're vocalizing it. And honestly, when you say stuff in your head, it's more powerful than when you say it out loud, because there's this spiritual connection to it when you think things in your thoughts. So as you're writing and you're thinking and you're saying it, you're getting it off your chest to a certain degree. Then you're gonna take it and you're gonna burn it. And the best thing to do is burn it, not just ball it up, put it in the trash, because a little piece might come back and you be like, oh, that was that word, and it hashes up them
Yeah,
feelings
and
again.
it makes you
Burn
all
it.
over again. One
Burn it to ash.
one thing I did do, I read mine back over. I read it back over. And the reason that I read mine back over, now mind you, we were in this piece like some Aaliyah artists. We were like Aaliyah out here talking about I'm sending you a 4-page letter. Okay. We was
Better.
writing. We were writing. Do
But
you
it was
hear
not
me?
enclosed with a
Writing
kiss.
back.
It wasn't enclosed with a kiss though.
It wasn't enclosed with the kids. But it's like just the act of saying clearly what it is that hurt me, what it is that caused me to feel the feelings I'm feeling, what it is that put me in the place that I'm in, putting all of it. And I mean, leave nothing out. Why? Because you're not
Mhm.
giving the person the letter. It's a place for you to share your deep and personal thoughts with you and get it out from you. It is crucial. And so by doing that, like she said, taking it, we ripped ours up, okay? We was out there ripping papers up because we did not want a single piece of paper to get caught in the wind. She did
And,
hers in a grill. I did mine in a metal pan in my
and
driveway.
burned it up. And
Lit that
burnt it
thing right
till
on
there was
fire.
nothing
It
left.
was completely just dust. There was nothing there. But this just simply releasing this family, it is time for us to start healing because one of our biggest things that we're holding on to has nothing to do with us. Forgiveness has nothing to do with the person who offended you.
Hmm.
Forgiveness has absolutely nothing to do with the person who offended you. Forgiveness has everything to do with
Do.
your mental health and well being.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
really does. Forgiveness allows growth and removes negative emotions. Yes, it does. It's like step one. That's like step one in healing is definitely that forgiveness. Yes, exactly. If we do not give them that control, when you have the ability to release somebody hurting you or giving pain or whatnot, interrupting your happy. There we go. We'll make it as simple as possible. Somebody interrupting your joy.
Yes.
When they have that, we love you too. When they have that, when they have that, now you no longer have control over self. So,
Yes.
with that being said, friend,
Mhm.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and give your closing remarks too, because that leads us up to what our next topic is. There may be a forgiveness part two coming. We are definitely going to get the rest of our thoughts out, and then we will
Yeah.
be ready to present
Yeah.
forgiveness part to you. Because yes, double yes. Forgiveness is indeed a process, and you'll hear forgiveness come back up because as I was looking over our other topics, friend, I'm like, forgiveness really ties
It's
into it.
forgiveness and trust and all. It's all in everything,
All of
and
that,
it's
all of
one of those things. Stanley, I think you should buy. If it was a manual pencil sharpener, I think you should send him an electric one and just let him know that all is well, and forgive him
I
about
think
stealing your pencil sharpener in fourth grade.
you know.
But with that being said, we need to wrap it up because we already went over our time.
So coming up next week on the Melanin Mindset is self-care. We need to know what self-care is, what it looks like for you, what it looks like for us. We are going to be engaging next week. So next week is not necessarily about us sharing our thoughts and our details and our bits and pieces and things like that. It's going to be
Yeah.
about how we love us and take care of us. And we'd love to know if you're
And we
doing
want to hear what everybody has to say about their self care. And
yes,
maybe we should bring on a guest next week
maybe.
because you know what I'm thinking. As I'm thinking about self care, I feel like it's something that's a lot talked about amongst women. But we should have a brother on here talk about self care.
Hmm. Well, in such case,
What do you think about it? Maybe you'll have to tune in to see.
that wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm not against that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to know what self care looks like from a male perspective.
Uh
So,
huh.
with that being said, look at me thinking on my feet. That is not a bad idea. I'm
No,
actually
no, no.
self care
All
from a
right.
male perspective because we know how to take care of us. Now, do we always do it? No.
We know, but we don't. But come on, don't we going too far? Let's go. Let's wrap it up. Love
We're gonna
y'all.
wrap it on up, you all.
Make
We love you so much. We're gonna leave you with this quote, and then we're gonna kick it out. And thank you again so much for viewing live. This was the fun quote that I wanted to share with you all earlier. Forgiving you means I no longer dwell on the fact that you are. All right. It doesn't mean you no longer are.
yes,
Okay. So
yes,
just be aware we're no longer dwelling on the fact that you are. But that doesn't mean that you no longer are. Okay. So, with that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in this evening and for watching the Melanin Mindset. We will be back here next week, Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, talking about self care and what in the world does that look like. Please tune in with us next week. Thank you so much for viewing and have a great evening.
good night.